Welcome back to Westmoreland on the Gridiron. Sean Meyers now joined by the first-year head coach of the Hempfield Area Spartans, that being Nick Keefer, coming off of his first career head coaching victory against Greensburg Salem on Friday. First off, Nick, congratulations. I know that had to be awfully special for you after a decade plus as an assistant with the program. When you got that first victory against the rival Greensburg Salem Golden Lions, what was that emotion like for you?
I'm not sure if I have words to describe everything I was feeling. I was so excited for the kids with all the hard work they've put in. I was so excited for the staff from everything we've been through and trying to implement our strategies and what we want our kids to do. And excited for my family. It was all there, and it was just everything came together. It was just a really, really awesome night for us in the community, and it was a lot of fun.
We had mentioned multiple times that you had been with the program in a myriad of roles for quite a while. To become the head coach, how much has that changed your life? How much do your responsibilities, obviously you have more of them now, but how much does that change everything compared to what you had been doing in those various assistant roles?
I didn't think it was going to change much because I always did. I felt like I contributed a lot, but it is a lot more. Ask my wife. I am away a little bit more than I have been. But it is. I feel like I've always been preparing for this while I was an assistant coach. Once once my wife had the twins, I stepped down and was the freshman head football coach. So I kind of saw a little bit of what it was like to run my own program there, just at a smaller level. So it is a little more planning, a little more speaking with the media. That's something that I never had the opportunity to do. But preparation wise, I think I'm preparing just as much as I have in the past.
Whether it be at practice or even, I would assume, on game day, you look to one side, you see your brother. You look to the other side, you see your father. I'm sure that has to be awfully cool as well. And I've known your dad for about a decade now. How much do you enjoy that experience? And how do you also kind of balance the fact that they're family, but they're also your cohorts?
It is really, really exciting. I got the opportunity to coach with my brother my first year out of college at Fraser. I was the middle school head coach and he was the defensive coordinator there. So I'd get to work with him on Fridays. I was up in the booth and I would just help head coach Mike Stieber, but I really never got to go through the daily routines with him of how we want to run a program together. We'd always talk about things each program does, or maybe things we could do differently if we were in charge. And now we get to do that together. And it's really exciting. It's really fun. We'll text each other things that we think we need to do, and the other person was just getting ready to text the other person that, like, we're on the same wavelength. We're always thinking the same, and it's really fun to get to do that with your brother and your best friends. That's neat. And then with my dad with us, all of our coaching philosophies of how to treat kids and how to run a practice and how to make things exciting and how to organize it. He taught us that through our life. We grew up on the sidelines, whether it was at football practice with him or football games with him or in basketball in the gym with him. I think I kept score. I was the scorebook person, official scorer in the city championship when I was in third grade. I've been with him my whole life, and I think it's really exciting for us to get to do this together. And I really am. I'm trying to take time to enjoy it. Life's going really fast right now, but I think he loves being there with us, and we're all excited to get the opportunity here at Hempfield to do that together.
Let's talk about Friday night in particular. It's always special when it's Greensburg Salem and Hempfield area. And your team got off to a good start, but it was a spectacular touchdown by Julian Stevens that pulled the Golden Lions within striking distance late in the first half. You got a touchdown with about a minute left before the half and then kind of pulled away in the second half. How did you evaluate the ebbs and flows and how your team was able to kind of seal the outcome in that second half of play?
Yeah, going against a team like Greensburg, we knew they were going to be well prepared. They're well coached. They have how many former head coaches on their staff. Ty's a great offensive mind. Matt Bowe, their defensive coordinator, was going to have their kids prepared. So we knew we were in for a fight. And only having 3 returning starters that's a lot of kids playing their first varsity game in a full game of the first full game of the season. The speed's a little different. So I was, we were preaching all week that we can't make those first week mistakes. And we had a couple penalties, a couple offsides. I think we had maybe a hold or something, but I was really pleased with how I thought we kept our composure in a rivalry game. I thought we were in shape. I thought, I didn't see us going down with too many cramps, or, we didn't have any 10-man on the field penalty. So I was really pleased with us. Our first game, a lot of kids' first varsity action in general. And so I was really happy with our effort. The kids were focused and locked in the whole time. And I was, overall, it was a great game for us, I felt.
I know you mentioned you don't have many returners. One of them is Kieran Lippman, your quarterback, who's also outstanding defensively. When we talked to him doing our camp previews, he kind of sounded like a veteran and a leader on your team. I'm sure that he plays like one as well. How important is he, whether it be on offense or defense, for making sure that everyone sort of follows his lead?
You can't say how important it is. Just like Greensburg was undermanned a little bit. They were out without their starting quarterback. And you just can't, not a price, but you can't put a price on that type of leadership. That there's so much value in like being the man in charge in that huddle. And I think everyone looks to Kieran, everyone trusts him. He's our guy. So I think offensively and defensively, the kids see his leadership on offense, running the ball or making the correct read or taking a chance and pulling it on inside zone and wanting to make a first down. And then when we're on defense, he flips that switch and he's running the alley, going in, and he's the first hitter on outside zone stuff. So it's really nice for him to be a senior, be a leader. He has that confidence that he can do it. He is the best player on the field in his eyes, and he's ready to go. So we're really excited about his leadership this year, and I think he's going to hopefully keep getting better every week.
Talking to Nick Keefer, the first-year head coach of the Hempfield Area Spartans here. I know that 1-0 is better than 0-1, but you were around last year when the team got off to the great start of 5-0, and it still did not result in the playoffs. So do you have to balance excitement, especially for so many young players, with the fact that winning a game in week 0 or even this upcoming week in non-conference doesn't really mean anything in terms of getting into the postseason?
For sure. I look back at last year's experiences, but I also, I just got a card in the mail from Coach Bob Kalp, who I learned countless lessons from being a part of the softball team. They were returning state champions, and his main focus every day was just to win the day. Have the best practice possible, win the day, do those little things, and then the next thing we worry about is just winning the day tomorrow. So we try to preach that. I'm not worried about the playoffs right now. I'm not worried about a letdown after 5-0. I'm just worried about it's Tuesday. It's our offensive day practice for the varsity. I want us to have the best offensive practice we can, get a little bit of special teams in, and then we got to flip the switch and have 20 minutes of solid defense. That's all I'm worried about right now. And I think the kids are starting to buy into that too, that we can't worry about anything else but today, getting better and doing our job. So that's what we've been trying to preach. I'm going to try to stick to that all season. So whatever happens, but we got to take care of the little stuff, and hopefully it leads to the big things happening for us.
Next on the ledger, Connellsville, a team that, quite frankly, has struggled in recent years. Now, they had a very unique approach with the three-coach system, and I know that they're trying to get back to prominence. When you look at them, what do you see from the Falcons, and what do you have to do against them?
I see an improved team. Last year they had some skill, but we were able to get some looks that we wanted, and we were pretty successful on offense and defensively against them. Against Albert Gallatin last week, they had, as Mike Tomlin says, they had a ton of splash plays. They returned a kickoff. They almost returned a punt. They had an 80-yard touchdown run. They had a big touchdown passes. So they are explosive. So if we think we can coast and just go through the motions, they're going to put it to us. So we have to make sure we're reading our keys. Everyone's doing their assignment, and we're playing sound football, because if not, they're going to hit a big play. So that's what we tried to stress yesterday in our defensive practice, and we just got to make sure we understand and read our keys and do our job, and we should be, hopefully we'll be okay.
Lastly, I know we're just one game into this season, but I'm sure you've set goals for this team. What would you consider successful in 2023, your first year at the helm?
Oh man, I can't even think about long term. Obviously, you want to make the playoffs, you want to win playoff games, you want to win championships and things like that. Those are our goals, our ultimate goals. But we try not to focus on that. Like I touched on it a little bit earlier here. We just have to get better every day. You have to get better, do your job, focus in, and make sure you're handling your business on a day-to-day basis. That's what we're trying to implement and instill in these kids. Whether it's making sure you get to school on time and you're in every class and you're turning in your homework so you're eligible that week, or you make sure you have to get down, from class and we're in the weight room at 250. You got to make sure you're in the weight room at 250, get your lifting before practice. Those are all the little things we're trying to preach and make routines for us. So that's our main goals every week, every day, is just to get better every day and win that day.
Well, Nick, thanks so much for taking the time to do this. We appreciate it always. And congrats once again on win number 1. Hopefully the first of many to come in your head coaching. Thank you,
Sean.
Career.
I appreciate it. Westmoreland Sports is top-notch professional program. So I appreciate everything you guys do for Westmoreland County.
Absolutely. That is Nick Keefer, the head coach of the Hempfield Area Spartans. We'll take a quick break and continue here on Westmoreland on the Gridiron.